I want to open it up to questions, but just one last point I wanted to ask you about financial reform. You were very involved in 2008. You spent 7 months as head of SIFMA, the major financial industry lobby. What's your basic assessment of where we are now? Do you think the too big to fail problem has been solved? Not. What do you think of all the financial reforms, including the Volcker rule? We haven't heard from you in several years on this issue. Just briefly.
Well, Dodd-Frank has not accomplished its goals in the sense that it was supposed to stabilize the banking system in a way that allowed more liquidity in the marketplace. It's doing just the opposite. It's contracting liquidity, it's contracting lending, and it's pushing a tremendous amount of activity into off-balance sheets, non-regulated entities. Has it solved the too big to fail? I think it probably has. The capital adequacy requirements are very stiff and good. I mean, really, you didn't need Dodd-Frank, which has produced 20 million words, and we've got a new regulation every 2.6 days or something, and we're only 40% of the way through it. You really didn't need all that. What you needed was tough capital requirements, and that would have solved the problem to a great extent. The problem that created the issues that created the problem in 2008 were failure of underwriting, securitization, and as a result of that, lack of capital behind those two activities. Volcker, 1,000-page proposal from an idea which makes sense in concept but can't be executed in practice. It's almost impossible to separate market making from the structure of how a bank works in a way that's going to be clear enough so that you don't end up with massive regulatory oversight which chills the market for market making. And our nation's great, one of the great American advantages is, and it really is unique to our nation, is that if you're a person who has a good idea and you go out and you take a risk and you start to grow that idea and hire people and create economic activity, a whole bunch of people are going to come along behind you and be willing to give you money to do it. And it's called stocks, it's called bonds. And no place else in the world does this happen the way it does here, with Twitter and Facebook being the most recent examples, or Tesla. And we're undermining that, in my opinion.
It also cost the economy about $50 trillion in the catastrophe of 2008.
No question, and it needed to be addressed. But the way it was addressed was in a way that had very little relevance to the underlying problem, and in the end is going to produce a lot of problems for our capacity as a market to be as competitive as we were before and to be as vibrant as we were before. It's one of the things that's dragging our economy a little bit.